What's the critical thing we have to consider in terms of planting date, in terms of the soil?
The critical thing is it needs to be dry enough to plant, and it needs to be warm enough.
So what temperature?
So if you've got 10 degrees and rising, plant it. The only limiting it'll germinate. It might be slow. It'll germinate. It'll establish. Frost is not a major concern because your growing point doesn't come out of the ground for about 4 weeks. And if your growing point's not damaged by frost, then the crop will be okay. Yes, there's risk in that, but pushing it late transfers a whole bunch more risk at harvest time, which is much more dangerous to you. One, you potentially totally lose any cropping option for winter. So if you're a dairy operation, or if you're growing grass or something, or a brassica over winter, you can knock that yield from potentially 7 tonnes of dry matter down to nothing if you don't plant it until the end of May. If you can get that in by the end of April, you're going to be growing 5 to 7 tonnes of dry matter. So planting time is critical because of the length of season here and the risk associated with not getting this crop off in time. Lots of people get confused with that. They think planting time risks, well, do I get my crop established? Your only real risk is you plant the damn thing and you get 4 inches of rain and you keep getting rain. Well, that's a risk. And yes, that can affect the corn crop. But if we take a normal year, I mean here in a 500 mil rainfall, that's winter dominant.
Yep.
The risks of getting that sort of rain event is not very high. So plant at 10 degrees soil temperature and rising. Do whatever you can to keep soil warm. Paddock selection.
Question on strip till, do you get a colder soil?
Yep. Well, it's double-edged.
Chilling.
Yes, you can warm soil by opening it up and letting the sun come in. But to me, particularly here, where water's going to be always limiting on a 500 mil rainfall, when you open that up and warm it up and dry it out, you're probably losing 2 meg of water.
Yeah.
So I would, and the other thing is if we're coming into cereal stubble, or if we're coming into whatever stubble we're coming into, that's got an insulating effect on the ground, which yes, can keep it cooler, but it also keeps cold winds up off the crop. So like last year, you had a horrendous November with just wind, wind, wind. If this was in a cereal stubble like that, it wouldn't have touched the corn.
No.
So I think there's real benefits to it.